Just like fingerprints, no two voices are the same. Each voice is beautiful and unique and special in its own way. And if you feel the desire to share your beautiful, unique, special voice, well, then the world deserves to hear it. Hi, singers. If we've never met before, I'm Vanessa Ledesma. I'm a voice teacher, a vocal coach, a choir director, and a music director here in Los Angeles, California. I've taught singers who have never taken a voice lesson before to singers who have been on Broadway and in major commercial bands. I like to talk about music pedagogy and the different schools of vocal technique and also the different kinds of tutelage that you can get from different voice teachers. Today, though, we're talking about voice types and range. Now, not everyone needs to know their voice type. If you are a singer-songwriter, it isn't vital that you know your voice type because you're writing your own melodies. So you write what's comfortable in your voice, what feels really good. So you know your voice type doesn't make a big difference. For others who like to cover songs or want to audition for a program or a show, it is kind of important for you to know what your voice type is and where your range is and where your tessitura is. So today we're going to start to discover it. As you learn and grow as a singer, it might change, but we can talk about that later. Let's start with an easy warm-up, all right? So take your two fingers, massage very gently your jaw hinge. You'll feel it kind of move right by your ears, right here. So feel that, gently massage it. If you're like a grinder, a tooth grinder, or a clencher, if you hold your tension in your jaw, this should feel nice. So I'll hold it up, massage it. Now take your thumbs, and you're gonna massage your tongue down here. Get any tension out. Nice work. Okay, just do a few yawns. Oh, yeah. See, it's automatic. Roll your shoulders back a little bit. Just get rid of any tension that you can, all right? So you're sitting nice and tall if you are watching this sitting, or you're standing nice and tall, but not tense. Just supported and tall and rooted, okay? All right, we're going to start with breathing. So gently place your two hands right on your diaphragm. So this is like maybe about 2 inches above your belly button, right underneath your rib cage, right in that little section of your rib cage that's like this. You're going to put your two hands there. Now you're going to breathe in, and your hands are going to go out. And breathe out, and it all contracts in. Breathe in, hands go out, breathe out, contracts in. Let's do that one more time. So you're going to breathe in, and now you're going to go. Let's do that 2 more times. Do you feel like a little click in when you do that? All right. So now what I'd like you to do is breathe in, and you're going to go a really sustained for as long as you can. Try not to bring any tension into it, but you're just going to have a sustained. And let's do that 2 more times on your own. Go ahead. All right. Finish up if you're still breathing. All right. Now let's put a little bit of sound to that. So can you go ha, 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 ha? And if you have a lower voice, why don't you sing down here? Nice. Let's do that. Ready? And. 2 more, just in case. Now for any of these warm-ups, you are welcome to just drop out when they get too low or too high. So we're gonna start a little bit up. Now from here, we're gonna move up a long time. So drop out when it gets too high, or jump in if it's already starting too low. Hold here for just a minute. You might feel like your voice has shifted somewhere. It's like maybe it was really grovelly and low, and maybe now it's a bit higher. Go ahead, go for it. If you start to feel a strain, like you're kind of reaching really high and it's getting kind of like that, drop out. We don't want to do that technique. All right. But if it's still comfortable, go ahead. We're gonna go 3 more. If you were able to hit that highest note, or if you were able to hit that lowest note, will you leave it in the comments below? Those are pretty high, pretty low notes. Before we go in to find our range right now, I would like you to grab maybe a pen and paper, or maybe your phone, somewhere where you can keep a note of the notes that you're going to sing right now. Okay? All right. So we're going to start with finding our low notes. So for those that have naturally higher voices, we're going to start a little high. So you're going to go za, za. Now this note happens to be your lowest note. That is an A3. All right. So everyone write that down. If this is your lowest note, that's an A3. We're going to keep going. All right. Za. Now we know a lowest note is a lowest note because we can't sing any lower. It's uncomfortable. We can't quite hit it. That's when we know what our lowest note is, just so that we know. All right, this one is G4. Try that again. Or G3, sorry. If that's your lowest note, that's a G3. If you were able to hit that lowest note, that was a D2. Very, very low. All right. So I hope you took note of which note was your lowest note. Now we are going to find your high, comfortable note. Okay, so we'll start still kind of low. And you're gonna go call. Try that. I'm up the octave because there's not a world where I can hit that lowest note. So, if you have a voice like mine, maybe you start in a little bit. But for my low voices, why don't you start here? Ready? On a ka. And. Last one. Any C6ers out there? That's a high note indeed. Very high note. All right. So I hope you were able to write down which note was your lowest comfortable note, maybe which note you hit that was the lowest, and your highest most comfortable note, or just your highest note in general. Now it is time for us to find our tessituras. Now the tessitura is where the most beautiful part of your voice lies. If you were going to sing song, you would want most of the melody in this range of your voice. So we're going to try to find that. We're going to do a warm up, and I want you to feel your lowest note that feels just so warm and beautiful. Which of your low notes feels really comfortable to sing? That's probably going to be the bottom of your tessitura. Not your lowest note, but the bottom of your tessitura. All right? So we're going to start a little low, kind of low. This might be too high for some people to start. If you have a higher type voice, go ahead and start now and then drop out once you've already found your lowest, most beautiful note. All right. You're going to sing mi, me, ma, mo, mu. Sounds like this. Mi, me, ma, mo, mu. All right. doubt anyone's tessitura is much lower than that. So let me know. Let me know if you need me to play lower, but I'm guessing that's where we should stop. All right, so now we're gonna find your high note tessitura, or the highest note of your tessitura. Okay, so for this one, you're gonna go K. So see if you can do a K sound. K. If that feels tight, then go K. 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 Cool. I'm gonna say K or key, so we can keep it a bit brighter. But if you feel tension, then let that go and just do a ko or a ko. Okay, you'll do key. Yes. Let me know if that's, then you know, let's start down here. So you'll do key. But we're gonna start here for my low voices. Ready? That is also quite a high note. I doubt anyone's tessitura is much higher than that. But again, if you needed a higher note because that was still too easy, let me know. All right. So I hope you wrote down what your highest note was. That was comfortable, not too screechy. What your lowest note was, also comfortable, not too grovelly. And what your most beautiful high note was that came out very easy and felt great. And what your most beautiful low note was that felt beautiful and comfortable. And yeah, all right. So let's see what that means. If your lowest note was a B2 or lower, and you had a tessitura around C3 to C4, you are pretty well suited for bass baritone. All right. If your highest note was a G4 or higher, and your tessitura was around F3 to G4, then you're most likely a tenor. If your lowest note was a B3 or lower, and your tessitura sat around A3 to C5, then you are most likely an alto. Now, if your highest note was an A5 or higher, and your tessitura was around F4 to F5, then you're pretty legit a soprano. Okay, so let's talk about other voice types in between. So maybe you weren't as low as an alto, or as high as a soprano. Then you're sitting kind of in the middle there. You would be a mezzo-soprano. If you sat lower than that, and you're like, I don't think I'm a tenor though, you might be a contralto. Or if you have a male voice and your voice was sitting super, super high, you might be a countertenor. So a contralto is like a woman's voice that can sing into a male's part, and a countertenor is a male voice that can sing into a female's part. Well, traditionally female, traditionally male. You get it. Okay, so what does that mean for pop music, for classical music? For pop music, you're not going to hear a lot of basses. Not true bass work. You will hear baritones. Baritones have beautiful pop voices, and so if you start to look for material that's in the pop or musical theater world, maybe you want to start looking at baritone songs or baritone singers. That could be a good place to start. If let's see, other voice types for pop music. I mean, all the other ones are there. So we have altos, we have tenors, we have mezzos, and sopranos. In the classical world, those get divided even more into lyric tenor, lyric soprano. I mean, there's so many types. I'm not an opera singer, so I can't really tell you the difference, but I'm sure there are resources online. If you would like to pursue opera and your range, then you can definitely find these resources online. All right, now each of your voices are so unique. So it's not going to be exactly like, there isn't an exact definition for each voice, right? It's just like a range. And that's all I have for you today. We've only skimmed to the surface when it comes to voice types and range. But I hope that this video gave you at least a little bit of insight on what your voice type might be. All right. Well, until next time, keep learning, keep singing, and keep sharing your voice with us. We really want to hear it. I'll see you next time.